Hi everyone, this is Rohit from License Mastery. Today I'm excited to have Spandana Nakka, who's the CEO of Sleek. She was earlier the BD at Google, and she's done a master's in engineering from Stanford. Sleek is backed by Tier 1 investors, including Lightspeed Venture Partners, and they recently got into StartX, and the team have alumni from Google and Stanford engineers. And Sleek is reinventing the way we wait in lines. Welcome to the show, Spandana.
Thanks, Rohit. Excited to be here. Thanks for the opportunity.
Awesome. So, you have a very interesting story and journey because you've lived part of your life in India, UAE, and then you moved to US, and you've worked with Google, done your engineering from Stanford, and now you want to build Sleek. So, why did you want to get into this crazy world of startups and entrepreneurship?
Sure. I would say sort of followed the immigrant's journey. Worked, studied at good institutions and worked in different companies. But I would say the reason why I wanted to join entrepreneurship or get into this world was my family comes from a family of entrepreneurs. My grandfather and great grandfather, they had pioneered the plywood industry in India
Wow.
back in the day. And I think that always lived within me. I always wanted to do something of my own, and coming up with different ideas, looking at different business markets. That always was a thing. And I got the good fortune of working at Google Play. It's a marketplace of different apps, like every app coming out every other week, and new ideas. So I got a good exposure into how a business could be led, how a business could be scaled. And given the digital world we live in, technology is at everyone's fingertips. So just being exposed to different ideas, and finally I landed upon one which I thought could be my own.
Got it. And I got to know about Sleek from Peter Livingstone, who runs an unpopular VC syndicate, and he's also been on the show before, and I'm a big fan of his thesis. But what made you think about building this product? Because I think what Sleek does is it helps you, gives you the option to skip ahead in the line, and it's a very innovative product. But do you think it's somewhere in the fintech space, or how would you categorize a product like Sleek?
Sure. So I would say the idea, or how we started about. It was a personal pain. I feel like every other person has experienced this, like not waiting, wanting to wait in lines. That's something everyone struggles with. And I experienced this firsthand by myself, like when I was waiting at a concert, and eventually my card didn't work. And I was like, okay, like there has to be a better way to do this, especially for centuries. We still wait in the line the same way we used to in the past. Our technology, or our product, I would say, is in the intersection of a couple of different realms. One realm is wait time, like predicting down to minute ETA at any given place, absorbing the different sources of data, be it point of sale, be it using sensors to look at location data, or even leveraging security hardware like security cameras and such. We could detect the number of people or smartphones there are in a line, if people are leaving, or at what pace this line is moving and such. So that's one realm. The other realm is dynamic pricing. Airlines or vacations, or even Amazon does dynamic pricing based on demand. And what we've applied is both of these two together. So we are solving waiting for lines by applying dynamic pricing. And we would say we fit into the place where Disney's Pass or Clear, they are providing you a way to skip ahead or get a VIP experience by paying a subscription. We've unpacked that and made dynamic. So that's how we are solving this. And I would say it's a combination of different industries, or how different people have categorized us. I think some of them have said we are in the fintech space because we integrate with POS, but our core technology, as I mentioned, is within these two spheres.
Correct. And there's no app download and no sign up has to be done, and no hardware required for anybody to skip the line.
Yes, that's right. We offer our product as an API or as an independent solution. And depending upon the customer, if someone already has a mobile app, we integrate within their app and provide an accurate wait time and dynamic pricing. But if someone does not have a solution at hand, we have our very simple solution, which is as seamless or sleek, so as to say. And there is no app download needed. There is no sign up needed. And with no hardware for the customer, you could simply place an order in as little as 3 steps. You look at the vendors around you, you look at their wait times, decide what you want, look at the fee, and then pay for it, and you're good to go. We text you when your turn is up.
Interesting. And do you think, since, I'm from India, you've lived in India, do you think that sort of experience in India where, if you take out Bombay, most of the cities, not really sure if, people actually follow the lines or not. But do you think such sort of products can work outside US, or would you plan to, launch it outside of US, especially in the Asian markets?
Sure, I would say like it all like I mean our business model is pretty much from the search pricing. If businesses make money, we make money. That's our pricing model. And what we've learned is different demographies have different I would say like patience levels. In fact, like I was chatting with one of like a ex McKinsey consultant, and he was talking about how they were trying to test how long a customer is willing to wait on a call waiting without a server giving them an indication of when the customer service representative would be up. So turns out in Phoenix, people are willing to wait for 43 minutes, but in New York, it was 21 seconds. So it varies a lot from where you are, what ethnicity or which geography, or like if you are from a city or like a suburb. So there's a lot of different factors which go into how much someone is willing to wait. I would say lines are a universal problem though. Nobody says I actually would not mind waiting 10 more minutes or like 20 more minutes. I don't care. But I would say the like ability to pay or like willingness to pay varies from different geographies. And one thing COVID has taught us is it's not just about waiting in lines and not enjoying it, but it's not safe. So given external factors like that, I could see like different geographies also reacting to like not wanting to wait in lines, though their patient levels might be high.
It's very interesting, and I've been we've been trying to speak to you for some time, but because of the COVID situation, things are very different. But how did COVID impact Sleek? I'm sure events all over the world, physical events have been affected, there've been a lot of way arounds, lot of events have turned into virtual space. But how are you looking at Sleek? Looking at a COVID situation, and how are you optimizing this particular situation?
Sure. So I would say like our journey started late last year.
Okay.
We were going to solve this problem of not wanting to wait in lines.
Right.
We believe like in future, like the way everything is so much at our fingertips, just being able to like walk on the road and step into a store and getting the actual down to minute ETA should be solvable or
Right.
should be solved. And when we set out with that vision, we raised funding, I think in March. Thanks for being a part of our journey. And after COVID, like given COVID hit, the lines, the market has just exploded, or they've increased exponentially. Given
Oh,
6 feet of distancing between each member in the lines seemingly seem longer. There's lines now at grocery stores, farmers markets, or like even every other convenience store in the US. And the situation has, I mean, what it was, like what we set out in the past, it was more of a vitamin. Like people don't enjoy waiting in line, so like there's a solution. But now it's sort of like a safety concern and a necessity. So that's definitely affected that. And we now have customers that we are serving, and are on the track to making a couple of $1 million this year in revenue. So things have been good. Uh, but yeah, I mean, there are other industries that we could have targeted, like festivals or concerts or like sporting events, and we've unfortunately not been able to like serve those industries, just given like how many of those industries are just cut off given COVID. So that's also affected us.
Correct. And but do you plan to take on festivals and sporting events going forward? For example, by the end of December, hopefully, if this thing gets over.
Yeah, I mean, that's the plan. I think in the interim, until like so live events industry is the industry that we thought would be the opening market or our first market that we target.
Correct.
Given that is like a very much of a need for them. There was like 100,000 or 60,000 people in a stadium watching a game for 3 hours, and then there's limited concessions they could go to. So those were our primary markets. But given COVID, we've continued to build our product, helping out any businesses or essential businesses that are open during COVID, and helping them with not having a line in front of their business.
Correct. And a lot of your experience would have come from working in Google Play. But do you have other competitors also in this space, or who are also trying to solve the same problem?
Yes, I would say so. My experience, I mean, two different questions. Yes, my experience comes primarily from Google Play. I was also a part of the early team at Google Fiber, and that was an interesting journey in itself too. But I would say like Google overall has been a good experience for me. Like Google Fiber being part of an early team where things were pretty scrappy. I mean, it's not a startup given it's Google, but I mean we had the resources of Google, but the team of a startup. In fact, like one of the cities that I was working with, North Carolina, the team when I joined was like 2 folks there. So just deploying Google Fiber to different cities was my role as a PM, and going from that to Google Play, which was a multi-billion-dollar business, and looking at everything from a point of growth, or seeing how things could be improved by a percentage, like a single-digit percentage, was the goal, was the thing that I was trained in. And startup, I mean, I would say like it's been an interesting journey in itself. I think everything I feel like I've learned for the first time, and yeah, like that was my experience with Google. And the second question, coming to like the competitors in our space, or the problem that we're tackling, I would say order ahead has dominated majority of the industry. And order ahead is simply like taking someone's order, passing it on to the back end. Like that essentially is what order ahead does. And this fails, or in fact, like some of the customers that we've been talking to, like one of the customers, they've received 500 orders in 1 minute after reopening their business after COVID. Wow. We target like the popular SMBs or popular businesses in every industry. If you look at a city, there's 1 or 2 different popular bakeries or like popular restaurants which always have a 1 hour of line, or like people just lining up for their products. And the thing is, like, you can't increase your prices because let's say at 10 o'clock there's hardly any crowd. Nobody is going to come and pay at those prices, but like at 12 p.m. the crowd must the lines must be outrageous. So dynamic pricing sort of solves for that. And order ahead is not a good solution because they're taking hundreds of orders at the same time, passing it on to the kitchen. Even if you're staggering them, it doesn't really help because customers' expectations have to be set. That your wait time is so and so. It's going to we'll text you when the order is ready, but at this minute, like, there have been so many orders that came in through. And when people start paying with dynamic pricing, the bottleneck reduces. So our solution applies to that. And the competitors in this space, I would say, I mean, Disneyland, given the crowd it attracts every day, or like the lines it has, they have an in-house solution, FastPass. And FastPass, which is like more of a flat subscription rate, if like, let's say 10,000 wealthy people show up, all of them want to pay. And then there's a line with people with fast pass. TSA checkout is another thing. Everyone has TSA pre-checkout now. And the lines in those lines are actually like longer than the regular lines. So that happens. So I would say like those are our competitors, and we have solved it with dynamic pricing.
Very interesting. And I wanted to understand about what are your unit economics or your ARR numbers that you were expecting in 2020.
Sure. So our unit economics, or like when we were testing out the product, or when we were building our product, our MVP, we started out in Presidio Park in San Francisco. That was where we were testing with like our scrappy solution of like humans plus technology, like helping us do this. And there was this place called Hotbird, which had insane lines. Like even before the pop-up restaurant like opened, there were at least like 40 people waiting in the line. And just to like set the context, Presidio Park picnic in the park was like a Sunday event in San Francisco. There's about like 5,000 people who gather. There's like 20 different food pop-up venues that pop up. There's yoga in the park. There's like music. It's a very San Francisco thing. So we set out like helping this pop-up venue. And when we first approached them about like, oh, like maybe you could pay us this much, or like we could charge your customers this much, they weren't as interested. And when we talked about dynamic pricing, or how there is an interesting way to monetize their lines, they got very interested. And that was because like wanting to monetize their line, or they're aware of their marketing with lines. So they were like, okay, maybe let's have like a fast checkout lane, and customers can pay extra, and we could have two lines. But they were concerned about their reputation, or how it would affect that.
Okay.
Versus what we have is the dynamic pricing, where nobody, it's anonymized of like who's paying, who's not. You pay, you order, or you wait in the line, and you go pick up your like item. So that's what we've done. And in 1 hour they made $600. And that was because people who previously were to pay $13 per an item were willing to pay almost on the average of $5 extra to avoid that wait line. And that's direct profit for them. And that is the unit economics.
And what are the sort of margins you're looking at in this particular scenario?
So our like margins, I mean, it's essentially like adding their profits. It's not adding revenues to them. And we take a percentage of the search fee that customers pay, and that's our business model. And given its software, there's nothing else which we are providing. The cost is pretty low. But again, like depending on our technology, or like what we've built, is we are solving this with AI and deep learning. Deep learning to gather and sync as much data as we could get, depending on like what time of the weather it is. Like, can this person walk 50 feet, get a service elsewhere that they don't have to pay the dynamic fee for, or like how many orders are ahead. We also optimize the queue, which like if 5 people are ordering the same thing, batch them together, and instead of the queue being first come first serve, it's more of an intelligent queue. So the technology that we've developed, I mean, a patent is pending on that, but that I would say is the core. And in terms of like our margins and such, like our margins to the business, like it's essentially like at 99% margins to them, because they're not losing anything.
Okay.
And they're just being able to like add more dollars to their profit margin.
Correct. And I wanted to understand what are your customer acquisition channels. I believe you've done a big B2B partnership recently, but what are the different marketing acquisition channels that you're looking at?
Sure. So I would say like our biggest challenge so far is defining our market. And why I say that is because lines in itself is not a market. Lines could be in different slivers of the industry, like could be at a popular bakery, could be at a concert, could be at a game, could even be at a DMV. And these are all the different markets that we are targeting. So there's like a sliver in every different market. And pre-COVID, we were to target live events, or we thought like that would be the first industry that we could go after and then expand from there. But because of COVID, and given that industry is like off the charts or off the limits, we've looked into SMBs, groceries, or like even like small medium businesses to like help them get on ground or get digital in this post COVID world. So that has been the strategy. So I would say like we've been looking at any customers that is willing to work with us. In fact, recently, like a volunteer at San Francisco County reached out, wanting to see if this could be applied at for the lines for COVID testing are insanely long, and they wanted to see like if there was a better way they could manage the lines. Of course, there wouldn't be dynamic pricing, but just getting people an understanding of like what the wait times are, and to set expectations right.
Correct. And as I understand, a customer doesn't need to download the app, but what are the growth strategies that you've done for users and consumers to to use your product?
Sure. So I mean, like our marketing of how we market things is essentially it's co-marketing with the event organizer or with the business themselves. So we would have like on-site marketing in terms of like large posters or attractive signs that would catch customers' eyes. In the past, when we were working with different festivals and so, it was even like printing it out on the ticket, or like even like as they are checking in, like that being a part of their ticketing app. So those were some of the strategies of how we were acquiring customers. But being able to provide them with a discount, or like bump them a couple of spots when they share this link with their friends who are also at this festival or at this event, like those have been some of the ways that they've been acquiring customers.
Very interesting. And Spandana, one of the most interesting, insights that I've looked into your particular product is that you've been able to raise really high quality, funding from really high quality VC, especially Lightspeed Venture Partners, and you've also got into StartX. Uh, how much funding have you raised, and what are you using the funding to invest into your company? Are you looking to hire more people, and where does the funding go?
I would say like in terms of funding and how we are spending it, I think me and my co-founder Gaurav, we're both immigrants, and I think we've tried to stay frugal as possible. In fact, that's one thing I'm discovering about me. I think I'm not as frugal of a person personally, but when it comes to like spending dollars for the company, I think I've tried to stay as lean as possible. Wherever possible, it's like, okay, like I could do that, like let's just do that. So we've tried to stay very lean, I would say. And of the funding so far, I mean, we have a team of like about 4 folks now, 4 full-time folks, and 2 part-time, and then like these are interns, not part-time, but that's our team. And the team is relatively small, I would say, for what we are trying to achieve. And the funding, as I mentioned, we did raise from Lightspeed Ventures, BAM Ventures, which has LPs from the entertainment industry and the sports industry, and like First Serve Partners, which has been pretty good in like introductions and such. And in terms of how much we've spent so far, it's been more than 6 or 7 months. But we've spent like about 20%, I would say, of what we've raised. And we raised $1 million back in March. And we plan to raise soon, but there are some traction metrics that I want to hit. And we'll then raise again.
Got it. And, I quickly want to do the top 3. What's your favorite business book?
Sure. Business book, I would say, my all-time favorite book is perhaps Sapiens, but that's not about business, but more about history.
Yeah.
But I would say autobiography of different folks is something I enjoy. And I think the most recent one was Coco Chanel, like founder of Chanel company.
Right.
And yeah, I think that is probably.
Correct. And if you could go back in time when you started working on Sleek, what is the one thing you would have focused on or done anything differently? I know it's been a short journey for you, but anything differently you would have done?
I would say the different things which actually clicked for us. I mean, one thing which perhaps was unusual for us was Peter was actually someone I reached out to on LinkedIn cold, and and he invested. And not just Peter, I think like there were a few other investors that I'd reached out cold on LinkedIn, which converted. And that usually is not the case. I mean, I've actually gotten response from like most cold emails to investors that I've written. And the reason I would say was not because my cold email strategy worked, but I think we hit all the points on the pitch deck that we were to hit, which was we were already backed by Lightspeed, or Lightspeed was a check in.
Right.
We had built an MVP. We had unit economics of we made $600 in 1 hour. And this is with one like pop-up restaurant, Hotbird. There's lines everywhere and what the market could be. So clearly defining everything was the reason why things worked. And then we had a great team too of myself and Gaurav. So these different things of like tying all of that together and telling the story well, that was not from day one. Day one of like how I set out to pitch, or how I was thinking about like the different things I was doing. I don't think that clarity was from day one. And I would say the biggest thing which actually helped me do that was talk to different entrepreneurs or folks that I took inspiration from. Just get coffee with them, or just chat about like how I'm approaching this and get the candid feedback. I think that really helped. And if I could do something sooner, I would say like instead of just running in every other direction and thinking like why this is not working or why does this not make sense, I probably should have taken that feedback from someone early on.
Right. But I love your hustle that you've done, reaching out to investors. And do you have any favorite online tool, for example, Gmail, Slack, Zoom?
I would say of late, I mean, of the different tools, apparently communication is what I use the max. And I think Google Hangouts or Gmail probably is what it is.
Correct. And what is the best way people can reach out to you and know more about Sleek?
Best way would be just reach out to me on LinkedIn. As I mentioned, I send cold messages, cold introductions on LinkedIn. So
Right.
yeah, sending me a message on LinkedIn is probably the way to go.
Correct. Spandana, thank you so much for coming onto the show and allowing me to be a small part in your journey. It was a pleasure speaking to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks so much.